Hello and welcome to Wisdom Bites. Hope you're well. Thank you once again for joining us. Very much appreciated. And in today's video, we're going to continue the theme that we started in the last video, and that was based on attitude. And in today's video, I'm going to have a quick look at why our attitude towards life will determine life's attitude towards us. I'll also obviously be going through the Bitcoin analysis, but before I begin, the usual polite reminder, please remember, everything in my videos is always about educational purposes. Nothing should be taken as financial advice. Please do your wider research before you make any investment decisions. So with that out of the way, let's get into your attitude and my attitude. And in the last video, as you know, I was talking about attitude and that if you take the right attitude, then you will be successful. And conversely, if you have the wrong attitude, then the chances are, the higher probability is that you will not realize your full potential in life. And how sad will that be? Well, today I'm going to go into more detail as to why our attitude towards life will determine life's attitude towards us. So what does that actually mean? Firstly, it really means that whatever you put out into the universe, you will get that back, i.e. the universe is really like an echo chamber. So if you are the kind of person, just like me, who puts out love, affection and kindness, then you will get back love, affection and kindness. It just makes sense. Conversely, if you put out hate and negative energy and all the bad vibes out there that you can do, then guess what you'll get back? But one thing is for sure, we can all shape our own life because it is actually in our hands. If only we knew the power that we have in our hands. Because what happens is that the shape of our life will be determined by our attitude. Let me give you an example. A person with a poor attitude towards learning isn't going to learn much until he changes his attitude. Because if we take the attitude that we cannot do something, then there is a very high probability that we will not do it. So if we have an attitude of failure, then we're already beaten before we even start. What that tells us is that what we achieve and receive in life and what we accomplish or fail to accomplish is due in large measure to our overall attitude. Now, one of the greatest discoveries in the last 200 years has been the realization that humans can actually alter their lives by altering their attitude of mind. By doing so, you will dramatically, and I mean dramatically because I've seen it with myself and for other people around me, that you will dramatically change your outcomes and results in life. I actually love the fact that we can control our attitude because it means that we can control. The only problem with changing our attitude is that people don't generally like change. But unfortunately, change is the one thing in life we can absolutely count on. And remember the old saying, if you keep doing what you've been doing, then you will keep getting what you've been getting. So therefore, unless you change, you won't change your results and outcomes in life. So the people who are actually very successful in lives, not only do they welcome change, but they actually see it for what it really is, i.e., it's a new opportunity, a new chance to further your fulfillment and further your personal development. And in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the attitudes of the 5% of people in our society who are really, really successful and what qualities they have to make them stand out from the rest. And you may be wondering how attitude and Bitcoin go together. Well, if you want to be successful in investments and trading, then you must have the right attitude, which is in line with being successful in trading and investment. And some of the qualities of being successful in trading and investments is to remain patient and vigilant and emotionally intelligent. These are some of the qualities that I've covered in many of my previous videos. So those are all to do with your attitude and your attitudes towards risks. So that's why please remember the connection that we have with some of these wisdom bites that we cover. Okay, so on to the Bitcoin analysis. It's been quite a scary last couple of days. So we need to really just have a look at exactly what's going on. So the current move that we've got over here started all the way back at this level here, which is at $38,000. And if we take a measured view of this rally, this big rally that we've had so far, from the bottom here at 37,500, that's exactly where it started, to the top where it just topped out at 48,200, 48,300. That is a 28% move in the space of around about two and a half weeks. So that is a very big move. And so it was expected. And I said that when we get to the 200 daily moving average, this green line here, if we have a closer look there, it came right up to the green line, the 200 daily moving average, and we got our first rejection here, the first test of our nerves. And I said in my tweet, when I tweeted it at the time, that we can expect a pullback to around about the $46,000 mark, which was around about here. So the pullback's been a little bit longer and deeper than I thought. This was the tweet 3 days ago when I said that I'd mentioned in the video that the 200-day moving average, possible retracement to retest 46k, which makes sense, and if the momentum comes in we could move straight to 51.52, but obviously that didn't come in. We've now obviously retested the 46k, but this 200 daily moving average was an obvious point of rejection, and that's exactly what we got. And currently we are testing the lower parts of this key range that we've got here, which is obviously based on these wicks and candles on the left hand side here, as you can see quite clearly, even if we go much further back there. So this is the 44,500. And I mentioned this level before. Now this would have normally have shaken out quite a lot of people, but as you can see, it's been bought up very, very quickly with this long wick here. So obviously this is a key support that we mustn't lose. And while we've lost the blue line here, which is the 34 moving average, that was at 45.5, we do have very good support on the 21 exponential moving average here at 43,700. But certainly the deeper move is concerning. I wasn't really expecting this deeper correction. However, we have to take what the market gives us at the end of the day. Now, in my last tweet, I mentioned this daily candle shooting star, and I said yesterday that it's still leading a merry dance, that if we look at the top of that wick and the bottom of the wick, all the following candles on the daily chart as well as the 4-hour charts were maintaining the upper and the lower band of this wick here, the shooting star. And what I said was that we need to break this range. And with the way the candles were forming here, and I'm going to go this into a bit more detail now, is that I expected a test of the top range yesterday at 48,240, which obviously didn't come. So I'm going to explain exactly what's happened here, because this leaves a clue as to what may happen in the future here. So this is the shooting star candle. The top of the wick here is at 48,240, as you can see here. And the bottom of the wick is at 46,662. The following day, as remember this is a daily chart, we came to test the upper level here. Then the next day after that, on the 30th, we came to test the lower level here. And yesterday, when we now look at the 4-hour chart, tells us something, that having tested the upper range and then the lower range, so my expectation was, because it tends to go up and down, my expectation yesterday was that we were going to test this upper range yesterday. However, in the middle of all that, we got this candle here, which is a gravestone doji candle, which has more meaning at the top of a range. But then if you look at this big rally that we've had, it's still regarded as towards the top of the rally here. And because this is a bearish candle, what we did do was that we never got above it, as you can see. But once you break the bottom of this, then you found that it has a cascade to the downside. But this cascade down was more to do with this range that we had established with that daily candle I've just shown you. That told you how much respect these ranges are from that daily candle. Because once we did break it, it led to the drastic fall that we've had. And many people ask me if this candle has now been invalidated. And the answer is categorically yes. Because if you look at the range of the candle from the top to the bottom, it's around about 3.5%. And because this is a bearish candle, you would expect with a higher degree of probability to fall to the lower side. Although I did think that with the momentum that we've had here, it may well be that the 20-25% of the probability of breaking to the upside may play out here. But of course it didn't do that. So if you take the 3.5% fall from the bottom of here, that would take it to around about this point here. So you would have expected that candle to have an effect to bring the price down to $45,000. But obviously it went a little bit further down, as low as 44,200 down here. So this candle has now been invalidated. We've now got support on this 44,500 mark here. And we should really, if this rally is true and it's not a fake out, then we should, after this pullback, be on our leg up back towards the higher levels. And as you can see from the wick here, we're currently bouncing from these levels, and it will have shaken most people out of the market here. So for me, and my attitude is, and that word again, is to remain patient and in position. My narrative is still on track, i.e. to reach 58,000, which can take around about 6 to 8 weeks in total. And my determination is not to let the volatility shake me out of my position. Of course, there will be a cutoff point. So my position is this. I opened a trade at around about the 42,100, around this candle here. And I went overweight as we went above the $46,000 mark. And I said that I would be covering my downside by making sure that if we do drop to 42,500, which was based on the top of this week here, which is at 42,500, and currently that is exactly where the 8 EMA, the 8 exponential moving averages on this blue line here. That's about 42,300 it says here. So we should find very strong support at those levels should the price come back lower to those levels. And currently the yellow line here, the 21 exponential moving average, this is exactly what it's doing now. We found support currently exactly at that point at 44,200. But should we break this blue line here at 42,500, then what that will tell me is that my narrative for getting into the trade would have failed. Then I would have to close all my positions, which is absolutely fine, but that's the world of trading. And I would then need to look for a new buying opportunity whenever that presents itself. For me, the balance is always to keep an exposure to the upside while protecting your downside. And that's how I'm always trying to preserve my funds. So in conclusion, we've had this big rally from the $37,000, $38,000 mark. We've had a very big rally of 28% up to these levels here. We've got stuck on the 200 daily moving average right there. We've now had the expected pullback a little bit deeper than we expected. However, we need to remain calm and patient and not get shaken out by the market. And as long as we don't break this support level here, we can expect the next leg up towards the $52,000 mark within the next 7 days. After which I would expect the final leg up to the $56,000, $58,000 mark. And we can have a look at the candle formations and the patterns at that point to see whether it's giving us a clue that it wants to go higher, or is it going to come back down as we expect. And to the downside, of course, we have to protect our funds at these levels here at around about the 42.5. Okay, so let's see what happens in the next few days. Okay, we can leave it there for today. I hope you found value in the video, and if you did, then please do remember to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell. And if you have any comments, questions or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.